Hi everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I thought I'd come to you tonight and bring you another fun fold card that I just learned how to make and thought it would be great to share it with you. But first I am going to bring up my computer with my video so that I'll be able to glance at it and make sure I stay where you guys can see me stamping. Anyway, I want to tell you today is May 2nd, and May 2nd is a very good time for Stampin' Up. Our new catalog starts today. If you do not have a catalog and would like a catalog, please let me know because I'd be more than happy to send you one. All you got to do is leave me a comment, or you can email me at ritaholmes0611@gmail.com. and I would be more than happy to send you a catalog. That information will be in my description below, so that you can remember that, and hopefully you'll be able to get a catalog in your hands. There's a lot of neat stuff in there. I am going to use one of the new stamp sets tonight and the new papers and dies, so you'll be able to see something that's used in the catalog anyway, because that's the best way to know if you would like it, is to see how things are used. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't have much else in the Stampin' News except for, I'm always looking for people to join my team. So if you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up or are thinking about it, I'd love to have you on my team. And you can also email me about that, or leave in the comments a message, and I'll more than gladly be able to talk to you about that. But right now we're going to get started on our card. As I am flipping the camera around, I would love for you to share my video, and that way we can see more people seeing the video. You can share things with your Stampin' friends and things like that. So I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. So what I'm going to do, if you get seasick, close your eyes right now, though. I don't want you to get sick. I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to face it down on my table so that we can get started with our card. Okay? So let's turn the camera around so you can see all of my junk where I need to clean up my messes. And I'm trying not to go so fast that I make you guys so dizzy you can't stand yourself. So I think I got it. I think I have that out of the way. And there is our card. Here is my host code. I didn't even have time to type that out. I've been busy today. Had to take my husband for an endoscopy and do all kinds of other little stuff. And so I just didn't get it time to get that out. So my host code is X42, M as in Mary 9, Z as in Zebra, N as in Nancy 7. So if you would like to place an order with me, I will tell you I do have a special right now. If you spend $50 with me, you will get the supplies, the cardstocks and that, not the dies or the print or the colored paper, but you would get all the cardstocks and that ready, plus the PDFs to make 3 cards, one of each of these. And I used the new beautiful balloons, and I used the dies that's in it, or some of them. This is the one I really wanted to use because I wanted to see what it was like. And that is on our first card, and it's right here. That is the die. And if you can see, it just cuts little slats like. So we have this card. We have this one. And we have this one. You will get a PDF for each one of them that shows you how to make that, which is really a nice thing to have. So that's with a $50 order. You can order online. Please use my host code. If you don't use the host code, I won't know that you saw this to be able to get the cards in that order. So I'll be sending these out towards like the 20th of the month for people that order early, and then I'll send them out after the last day of May so I can see who ordered and get them out to you. So that is what's going to go on with that. So let's get ready. Let's move all this out of my way. We don't need all that. We're not going to be using it. Here's our card and what we are. I called it a layered book card. I don't want to get it too far out of the camera. And it opens like this, and then like this, and there's your message. Now you can put something here, you can put messages here, and do exactly what you want to do with that. I yawn every time I get on here with you guys. I don't know what that is, but it is what it is. So let's move this over here, and I'm going to show you how to do this card. I also, over on my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, have all of the card techniques, and I have this one. I did put 4 pictures so you can see how it looks. All of the supplies and the directions to do it. So you would have all of that, which is nice. But that you have to go over to Stamp Crazy VIP in the file section, and whatever name you see this video is named, that is the name of the file over there. Here's the paper we're using. It's called Fresh as a Daisy, and it is the Daisy paper. And here's just some of it, plus the piece I'm using. I've already used it up, so. But these all have daisies on that on one side, and the other side is a plain color, and it looks like it's kind of watercolored and that. So, and this piece right here, you can cut all this out and make a lot of cards with it. So it's really nice paper called Fresh as a Daisy. Trying to get my paper straight. I like it to be straight in here so it doesn't get all bent up. I hate for the ends of my papers to be bent when I go to use them. Nothing like bent paper, right? So the set we're going to be using tonight is Cheerful Daisies, right here. We're not using much of the stamps. We'll be using this sentiment and this sentiment, this little flower with this little inset, and the leaf. And then the dies, we're going to be using this big die here. We're going to be using this, and then we're going to use these 2 centers and the leaf. So that's what we're going to be using. And then we've got the 23, 25 in color dots. We'll be using those. The card I've got right now, I have the wild wheat on it. I did put copper clay on the other card that I did, but that's already went out into the mail, so I don't have it to show you. But those looked really pretty too. So we'll be using those along with the ink we'll use is copper clay. That's a new in color. Wild wheat is a new in color. And Pretty Peacock is a color that they've brought back that is now in our Regals color collection. So now let's get out our papers. We are going to first be using a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock, scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. This is on the directions. The other piece we're going to be using will be a 3 by 11, scored at, and it's scored this way, 4 1/4 and 8.5. But when we put it on the card, we'll be putting it on this way. We also, let me get this out. We have a lot of little pieces. This is a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of DSP. We're going to put right there, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. Then we will put that down. That's going to be the last page of our card. It's this right here. So we've got that on. The next thing we're going to do is, we're not going to do anything with this middle piece, but on this piece here, we will also put a 2" by 5 1/4 piece. And I think I'm going to use this right here. And we're not doing anything with that one right now, but this piece flipped over is what's going to be going on there. So let's go ahead and glue this one down. Well, okay, next what we're going to do, we're going to take this piece, and it's going to be held like this with the smaller section over here on your left, and then these are two matching sections here in the middle and the end. And this is going to go right here next to that score line, okay? And we want it to be straight down here on the bottom of our card. We want that to be fairly straight. I get it straight on, and then I lift my hand and it goes crooked. The problems we have, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to mark this up here. And the reason why I'm going to put a mark right there is I know I don't want any adhesive above that mark. I don't have to worry about that mark because we're not going to see it here in a minute, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to add because I want this to be on here really good. Some glue. I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to line that up again. I don't want it in my crease, but I want it at that score line. And I'm going to press that down. I'm going to come over here and make sure that that looks even on the back. And it does. So let's just press that down for a second. Give that a second to dry. I will tell you, I saw this card. Lisa Curcio did it. She called it a pop-out card. I call it a layered book card because I don't really see that anything's popping out at me. I don't know that she glued her layers down together to make it look more like a book. I didn't like all the flimsiness of it. So I don't mean to get that up out of the camera. My camera's down just. I'm going to raise it up. So let's see. So everything's not so close. See if that helps. But anyway, I wanted those glued together so that we could, it makes it look more like a book. So anyway, I've got that glued down. Then I'm going to take this other piece that measures 2" by 5 1/4, and that's going to go here, and it'll kind of hide where we've put that together. So what I did is just flip this over like this to go here. I didn't want it with all of the flowers. I think that looks a little busy, so I want to break it up. So I'm going to put the glue on the flower side, which it just seems not so nice to cover up such pretty flowers because I love daisies. They were one of the flowers in my wedding flowers. Daisies and yellow sweetheart roses. They were so pretty together. It's kind of like my favorite thing to put together. Okay, now we have our section put together. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold this back on its score line, which is this first little piece. And you've seen cards made like this all the time. See how that is, let's finish it. So you've seen cards that are made like this part right here, right? I forget what they call them, but there's a name for them. I am making sure I get that down really, really. I want a good crease in there. And I could leave this like this, but I'll show you why in a second why I don't want to. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this score line here. I'm going to bring it into a valley fold. Then I'm going to bring this piece right here and I'm going to bring it back into a mountain or a valley fold back the other way. And there's my card. Now see, once that is all said and done, you've got all this bouncy little stuff. So I'm not really caring for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this up. And in between the two white layers here, I'm going to add some glue. Because I want this to really stay. And I'm going to glue that down. So here's how our card is going to open. It's going to open to this section first, and we're going to put designer series paper on it. Then it's going to open here. So you've got 3 little sections by the time we get all of this done. So this piece was, I hope I told you, I think 3 inches by 11 inches, scored at 4 1/4 and 8 1/2. This one was 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. This piece was 5 1/4 by 4. This piece and this piece were each 2 by 5 1/4 by 4. So now we're going to bring in our other pieces that's going to go on this card. And we have a piece of 2 1/4 by 2 3/4 that'll go on our front. I'm going to go ahead and glue these down as I go because I've made this card a few times and now I know where I want these colors. So let's just kind of glue that down. So we're just going to get that glued in there. Whoops. Wanted to slide on me. I'm going to open it up and I've got another 2 3/4 by 2 1/4 that's going to go, I think we'll put it right like this. It's going to go right here. So let's put that down. Then we have a piece that is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. It's going to go here and I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to use the other side of that to give us a contrast. So let's put that on the flower side. And then our last piece is going to go over here. And since that's got the green there, I'm going to go ahead and put the flower over here on this side. So I used 1 sheet of paper. I used 2/3 of 1 sheet of paper of the 12 by 12, basically. So let's just put this on. So now there's our card. It's getting to come together. So now here's this part. We're going to open it up and see this part. Then we're going to open up here and we'll see this part. So now what we have here, we're going to decorate and do a little bit of stamping. I have these 3 pieces and they measure, and I have to do a cheat sheet on this because these are measured funny. This is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. That's Pretty Peacock. Copper Clay is 2.5 by 3 3/4. And Basic White is 2 3/8 by 3 5/8. And they just go together with like an 1/8 inch border. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to glue my Copper Clay and my Pretty Peacock together. So let's just glue these. I like to use the Tombow glue. It gives me wiggle room. And I can always use wiggle room because I never get anything straight. And that is going to go right here. So I can go ahead and glue this part on. But before I do that, you know how I glued these two together? I want these two to be glued together also. So I'm going to put some glue right through here. I don't want all that floppiness. So let's just glue that down. And now I'm going to just put enough glue on this side here so that I can glue this on, and then we'll do our stamping and put our die cuts together. How's that? So I'm going to hold that down. I'm going to put this down. And there we go. So we have two different size pieces of paper or cardstock, and I told you this was 2 3/8 by 3 5/8, and this one is 2.5 by 3 3/4, and it is going to go here. So let's do just a little bit of stamping, just really quick. See if everything's in the view of the camera here for a minute. Let's take out Pretty Peacock first. And I'm going to stamp my two sentiments. On the front of the card is going to say, wishing you the brightest birthday. So I'm just going to ink that up. And one thing about polymer stamps, you can see that ink get on that stamp. You don't have to push into your ink pad. You just bring that up and you can see how that's just on the words and not all the way around everything else. Because I didn't push at it at all. I just let that ink absorb onto the photopolymer. Now I'm going to stamp down here in the bottom right hand corner. I'm going to sit that there for a minute, let it soak into the cardstock, bring it up, and there is my saying for that one. Now I'm going to do the inside saying, and you're going to see that I'm just going to sit it on there. And I'm going to just move it up and down a little bit, but I'm not pressing, so that you see that it's just on the words. And I will bring that over here, and I'm going to stamp it in the upper right-hand corner. And it says, your friendship means everything. So we have that done. And now I believe we're done with the Pretty Peacock. We're going to bring in Copper Clay. And with the Copper Clay, I'm going to stamp on this one, and I'm going to stamp this Daisy, and you can see I'm not pushing in on that, so I see I get a nice clean image. And I'm just going to put that over here on this side. And we have our little we have our daisy. I love daisies. I'm going to put these stamps away as I go, just because I want to have them out of my way. And we are going to use, lastly, yep, I got it. It's this little bitty, it's the inside of the flower. So I'm going to use the Wild Wheat, which is another new ink color. I'm going to get out this little scrap pad right here. Wild Wheat can be dark. It's a goldy color, mustardy gold, I guess. But if I ink that up, and I'll show you because I'm going to stamp once and then I'm going to stamp off. And you can see how much lighter the off stamp is. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to stamp once. I'm going to go to my flower right here and I'm going to put a center in my flower so that it's kind of light. And there we have our flower center. I like that flower center. I think it looks nice. They also have a bigger one for the big Daisy. This little Daisy wants to escape out of this package. I keep putting him down and he keeps flipping over. Okay, so we've got that done. Now what we're going to do, I am going to take, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inside of my card. Then that way we have it out of our way. And the only thing left to do is put our die cuts down. So let's take this piece right here. And I know I want it to fit back here, and I want it to be underneath that. Now, you can do it two ways. You can take and center it over here, but you would center it up with the face down. Put some glue on it, and then just bring this over and slap it on there and do that. Or I can eyeball what's right here and make sure I get this underneath where it won't show above here. And that's what I'm going to do. So my glue lid's sticking. So let's put some glue. And then let's put that down here. And see, that doesn't stick out, so we're good. Okay, so let's take this. Let's look at what all of our die cuts are though first, okay? How's that? Here is our big die cut that's going to go into the center here. It'll be up in here. So that's our big die cut. This right here, and here's another one. I stamped 4 leaves, and what I did with those is I stamped full strength with Pretty Peacock, and then I stamped off, and I did 2 sets of those for the front of the card, and you can see it on here like it is here, so it gives a color variation. So we have that. We have these pieces here that fit inside these. We got to get it going the right way. There we go. It fits inside this image here, and it gives your flower more of a 3D look. So there's one for every flower. Here's this one, and of course I'll put them on a little bit straighter when I get to that. And then we have this one right here that goes down here, I do believe, or is it this one's that go down here? I always have to figure this out, and I'll figure it out in a minute when we get ready to do it. I think it's like that. Okay, and then I have, this is the back of a sunflower, a daisy, and this is another one of those inserts, and it goes right here, like that. And I'll be gluing that down. That's the front of our card, and then this is the center of this flower that I'm going to use. So let's work on that. We'll do this first, but before I put that on, I'm going to go ahead and add this to the front of my card. The card is really pretty simple, especially once you get it folded. It's just gluing all the pieces. Now, you don't have to make as many layers as I did. You don't have to use as many die cuts as I did on this one. So, you know, you don't have to make it as much work as what I did, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to turn it over. And I'm just going to add some glue to some of the leaves. I'm hoping, couldn't see my glue on there for a minute. So I'm going to flip that back over. And I am going to try to get this on here the right way. And I didn't worry about the ends out here sticking down. It just gives it more dimension. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And then what I can do is decide how I want it on here, and because I want it to stick up some, and I think that's about right. So I'm putting my finger there. That's about where I want my glue, is down here to hold it on. So we're going to do that. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and take my leaves, and I'm just going to put glue right here on the end. If you can see that just a little bit. I'm going to tuck my leaf up and under here. Just going to add some leaves to give it some color, some contrast. So, I hope you guys try this card. I really like it. And I think I told you Lisa Curcio did the one I saw, but she calls hers a pop-out card. Okay, we're going to embellish that. We'll do that in a minute. We're going to open this, and we're going to get ready to do our inside. And to do our inside, I wanted to give this a little bit of color, so let's move the one dies off. I'm going to sit this right here. I'm going to bring in my sponge daubers, and I'm going to bring in Pretty Peacock and Wild Wheat. So let me get out Pretty Peacock and add just a little bit of color to my sponge dauber. I don't need much. And I'm just going to bounce on these flowers and give them some color. And you can make them as dark or as light as you want. So there we go. We got our leaves done. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in the wild wheat. And we're going to do the center of the flowers. So let's get it. And like I said, it's a darker color. So we want to be real light-handed with this. So we're just going to pounce the centers real easy. We're not going to and there we go, we have our centers. Close that back up. Move this piece of messy paper. That's what it is, it's just messy paper. Now let's put our flowers back on. Now I gotta figure out where they go again, right? I'm getting used to it, I'm getting better at it. So let's go ahead and add just some glue. And we don't have to add it everywhere. I think it's there. Yeah, it's there. There we go. We have that one on. Next, let's do this little guy. He's easy to do. We'll put some glue right here on him. My glue lid wants to stick to my glue. Must mean I have to clean it. Okay, we got a little bit of that, and that goes on this flower right here. Can you see how it's given it a little different look than just the plain flower? Now let's do this last one. Let me kind of figure out how this goes before I get glue on it, so I won't be going around in circles so much, which I tend to do, it seems like. There we go. Gives me some idea, but since I picked it up, I probably won't know when I go back down. Well, told you I wouldn't know. I gotta find a way to find one that really lines up and then go from there. Well, let's pick it up. That one looks like it goes there. There we go. Okay, what I want to do with this, since I have my flower on, I want this to be in here, but I want these leaves to kind of be up like that, so you can see them when you open the card. So there we go. Let's put some glue on the back. We don't have tons of room back here. There's a lot of little spaces, so I'm just covering some of the bigger spaces. Then I'm going to press that down. And I got some glue squishing out there where it got it too thick, but I can take my glue eraser in there and get out some glue if I need to. Just need to be careful with my petals that I don't knock them off. Another thing that you can do with glue when it does that, let me show you. Well, maybe I will. Okay, I will. You can take your embossing buddy, if you have one of these, and where that glue is, just pat this on there. It'll take the shiny away and it'll take the sticky away. So if you do have any glue on there, you can do that and then just wipe it off. I thought that was a lot of glue there, but it's the other piece of the die cut. I want to mess that up. So anyway, you can do that and get that off, and there is our card. So it's wishing you the brightest of birthday, and it says your friendship means everything. Now you could decorate more if you wanted to. You could decorate less. You could do whatever you wanted. We do need to embellish. Almost forgot. Almost forgot. We're going to put some. And on this one I have the wild wheat stones on it. And I am going to, on this one, I think I'm going to put the copper clay. Just so you can see it in two different versions. I did that a while ago and then I mailed the card. So, let me just go ahead and put come on. There we go. Whoops. And there it is with the, so see the difference? Well, wild wheat on one and the copper clay on the other one. So that is my card. I hope you enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up, share my videos, subscribe to my channel. I would love all of that. And like I said, if I can help you in any way with Stampin' Up, please let me know, because I'd love to do that. You know, it's always nice to meet new people, have new customers, have new people just to help learn to stamp. That's what I love to do. I love to teach. So that's what I want to pass on to you. So don't forget, you can go over and snag this PDF if you want a visual for your card. Just go over and snag that, and it'll give you the details of making the card. Until I see you again, you have a nice day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.